Good day, Inderes TV viewers and listeners. In this video, we're going to talk about Arctic Minerals. There's been some news before Christmas, and I'm talking about those news with the CEO, Jonatan Forsberg. Jonatan, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you for having me on this video.
You have recently presented two news from Arctic Minerals last December. First of all, the acquisition of the 100% share of the copper project Peräpohja in Finland, and in addition, also updates from one of your projects in Norway, the gold copper project Bidjovagge. So could you tell us something about the Peräpohja copper project and what kind of project it is?
Yes, thank you. The geology of the Peräpohja area has many similarities to that of the Central African copper belt in Africa, one of the world's main sources of copper. And Arctic Minerals' exploration target in Peräpohja is the type of mineralization typical of that found in the Central African copper belt. We have been exploring for copper in Peräpohja since 2017, and we have found widespread copper mineralization in both outcrops and boulders so far.
Why did you do this deal? I think you had the deal with Rio Tinto. So why did you acquire the rest of the shares of the project or the interest?
Yes, now we have acquired 100% of the Peräpohja copper project in Finland. And previously, we had it in a joint venture together with Rio Tinto. We are a junior mining company and have quite a selective approach and right to the point approach. And we think that we could be a good owner for the full project with that approach going forward.
So, and now Rio Tinto will earn some royalties from the project. Can you tell more about this?
Yes, Arctic Minerals, we pay no cash upfront from the project, but the seller will be entitled to royalty of 1% of the revenue from the project in the future from an eventual production from the project. So in that sense, both we and the seller will have an upside to the project in the future.
What has been done so far on the project?
We have been exploring for copper in Peräpohja since 2017, and we have found widespread copper mineralization in both outcrops and boulders. And to date, we have been doing drilling, geophysical surveys, prospecting for ore boulders and outcrops, and geological mapping. And all in all, some $5 million has been invested in the project so far.
And what's the next step for the project?
We have so far identified two possible drill targets in Peräpohja. We call them Kulmula and Kuusi. And we are now investigating those targets and consider to drill them in the future, potentially already this year. We will see.
Okay. There's also been activity in the Bidjovagge gold copper project in Norway. Can you tell us some background about the copper project?
Yes, Arctic Minerals, we hold 100% in exploration permit and mining permits surrounding the past-producing Bidjovagge gold copper mine in Norway, in Finnmark, in northern Norway. The deposit hosts an indicated mineral resource of some 3 million tons, and that is equal with the grades to total contained metal of some 4,000 kilograms of gold and 32,000 tons of copper. We think there is an excellent potential to substantially increase the resources in the future by further exploration. And worth mentioning is also that we have identified potential for both cobalt and tellurium surrounding the Bidjovagge mine. So it's both gold, copper, and potential cobalt and tellurium in the project.
Lastly, can you tell us something on the results you have received from this summer's field season?
Yes, this summer we did a geophysical survey in the Bidjovagge area. And now in the winter we have received the results from this survey. And the survey confirms what we have believed since before, that the ore zone in Bidjovagge actually continues both to the west and to the north of the original mining area. So that is good news.
Good to hear, and hopefully we get more good news later this year. Thanks, Jonatan, for the interview.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the video.